Hello, podcast listeners. This is Rita M. Perez. Thank you so much for being here. I'm experimenting with a couple different things, including this podcast and intros and outros. So bear with me as I do a little bit of experimentation going into this new year of 2022. I think I've landed that experiment is my word, and so I'm just trying to see what is best fit for you. And is it a right fit for me to put an intro and an outro? I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see if you enjoy just getting right in and not hearing any of the fluff. So without further ado, I wanted to peel a little bit of the curtain back because I don't really think that I've done a formal introduction of myself in quite some time. So who am I as your podcast host? Well, if you've been following me for some years, because I did start this podcast back in June of 2020, thank you so much for being here and so much for sticking to me. My name, again, is Rita M. Perez. I am a certified travel advisor, and I specialize in retreats on cruise ships. And really, if we break it down a little bit more, I help bring your online community offline through world travel, and specifically world travel on ships, because I feel like the transformations that happen on cruise ships because of the different downtime that you have sailing through the oceans or sailing through the rivers it gives a great opportunity to not only explore the world together, but also to be able to marinate on ideas and also bring new ideas and create new collaborations. It is really a foundation for immense transformations that you may not have even thought were possible, especially when we're comparing a land retreat versus a cruise retreat. And I have a couple episodes on that, so I won't go much into that, but I did want you to get to know me a little bit better and my background, kind of like, who is this person and why is she talking about all of this? So I have actually sailed, and I'm going to make this a podcast episode too. I have sailed on 6 cruises the past 6 months, yes, through the pandemic, and it has been awesome, and I have loved. There was only one ship that I thought there were too many people, but everything else, it was really, really amazing because the cruise lines are capping how many people are on. But even before these past 6 months, I have sailed on over 20 cruises. This includes different ocean cruises as well as river cruises. And I have gone on even more ship inspections, and ship inspections are something that used to happen pre-pandemic, where travel advisors could get on ships for a couple of hours. We run our booties off to make sure that we're taking lots of pictures so that you can see what the ships look like inside and out, including rooms, public spaces, restaurants, and the like. So I'm hoping maybe 2022 is the year that those come back, but we'll see. But at least I have gotten 6 new ships under my belt that I can share with you as well. I have my bachelor's degree actually in hospitality management. I focused on my bachelor's degree not only in hospitality management, but I did do my focus on event management because I loved putting events together. Prior to even getting into college, I was the president and even a member. I did so many nonprofits when I was much younger, and I'm starting to get back into my nonprofit role now. But when I was younger, I was the president of something called Interact, and Interact is a subsidiary. It's like the high school version of Rotary. And Rotary is actually where I'm trying to get more involved with my local community again now. But we put on different service programs, including an annual Halloween party at the homeless shelter here in Orlando, Florida. And that was my big taste into getting into event management and taking care and coordinating all of those logistics. My guidance counselor at the time had mentioned that I should get into event management, And I was trying to be strategic and keep open-minded. So I didn't get an event management degree, but I got my hospitality management degree. And I focused on events. So I took mainly courses that were geared towards event management. And then any event, like I was a part of the International Special Events Society and Professional Convention Management Association when I was at university for 4 years. So I have a lot of events background. So when I mentioned that I cater to cruise retreats and taking care of all those logistics, that goes back years. And I graduated from my bachelor's degree in 2008. So this is like high school years, which is like very early 2000s. I have always had a knack for planning events and getting the logistics together. I love putting the strategy together, and I love creating out of the box things from these amazing, incredible, vessels that we have sailing on the oceans and the rivers. So once I graduated from my bachelor's degree, I got into my master's degree, which was in nonprofit management, because I was doing so much work in the nonprofit sector, both as educational nonprofits and community service nonprofits. Now, obviously that hasn't come much to fruition in my adult life, but I am now hoping to get back into the nonprofit community work that I really was so super passionate when I was younger. I also, because I am more full-time entrepreneur working from home now, I just need to get out and meet other people and have those interactions instead of just being home by myself. So that's one of the focuses of that. But when I was in, like, the major takeaway of me doing my master's program was, one, the mission is everything. And then 2, that's actually what got me started in creating a travel agency business, was that in my final class, the elective that I chose was an elective on creativity. And, I think of creativity, I think the typical way many of us think about creativity is like the artsy stuff, music, painting, drawing, those types of things. And I am not gifted in that area, but I am gifted in entrepreneurship, because I would have to say I was very much a serial entrepreneur in my young adult life and even my teenage life as well. And that's how my travel agency came to be, is that I needed to create a project in that creativity course. And that was my project. I started the buildings of my travel agency back then. Now, I started my travel agency October 2020 with the goal of it being girlfriend getaways. And it has clearly evolved into something I am more passionate about, which is really investing in your people through bringing them together on some sort of retreat event. And whatever it is your goal, it is so clear that it is not about you. It really is about your people. And this is another podcast episode that I'll be recording on something to the effect of how your retreat can actually backfire on you, because I recently experienced this on something that I recently attended. So this is what the podcast is all about, giving you tangible tips and advice on things that I know as a travel advisor who is also a retreat planner, but personal experience, personal knowledge, the knowledge from those that are inside of my network, fellow travel advisors and my travel suppliers. So I hope that it seems like it was a very comprehensive walk down memory lane from me, but I hope this gives you a little bit of an insight into who I am, what my background is, makes you hopefully think that I'm qualified to take care of your next retreat program if you choose so. And I hope you also really see how passionate I really am about people and investments in people. And, that really does come from the lack of investment that there was in me when I was working in the corporate world. Oh, I didn't really get into that because most of my background once I graduated from college is in the theme park sphere. So I worked at big companies in the Orlando, Florida in the Orlando, Florida community, like Walt Disney World and like SeaWorld. And they've really set the foundations of me being able to know what it is operationally to run these types of events, but also to make sure that I keep in mind certain restrictions that are necessary, like budgeting constraints or timing constraints. So I have that corporate background as well. So it's not just like me saying like, I just want to help the people. I can help the people with a certain strategy, because towards the end of my career in the theme parks, I would say I was like the big fixer. And so if there was an area that needed assistance, and I worked primarily in food and beverage when I worked in the theme park industry, if there were restaurants that were needing help or anything like that, I was the one that was brought in to kind of clean up whatever mess someone may have left behind as they were moving on or transitioning. So yes, that is a very brief but broad background as to who I am. And let me know, what else would you like to know about me and my background? I've already queued up like 2 different ideas for future podcast episodes, which hopefully I'll be recording those soon. I do put out podcasts every week, so stay tuned here. Make sure if you're not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you have been subscribed for some time, please go ahead, leave me a rating and review. It helps get this content out to more people, and I would so appreciate if more of the world knew how amazing it was to take retreats on cruise ships as opposed to keeping them at retreat centers or conference centers on land. So that is it for me today. Stay tuned to my Instagram, because I do a lot of connecting with you guys on there, as well as my LinkedIn account. Have an amazing week, an amazing start to this awesome 22 year, which is hopefully the beginning of our real roaring 20s. And I will see you all next week. Have a great one.